What is this God like? Kind or cruel? Close by and involved in my life, or far off and aloof? Strict and uptight like a fundamentalist preacher, or free and easygoing like a good, educated progressive? Does he vote Democratic, or is he Republican, maybe Green Party? Or how about this one? Is God even good for the world anymore? Fewer and fewer people answer yes. What if God and religion are just an endless source of violence and hatred and bigotry and hypocrisy and really bad music? Who is this God we love, hate, worship, blaspheme, trust, fear, believe in, doubt, cuss in the name of, bow to, make jokes about, and most of the time, just ignore? I would argue that how you answer this question will define you. The 20th century writer A.W. Tozer made a stunning claim. What comes to our minds when we think about God is the most important thing about us. Really? The most important thing? More than our gender or sexuality or ethnicity or family of origin or the town we grew up in or where we went to college or our tax bracket or whether our sport is American football or football? Absolutely. Here's a truth that cuts across the whole of the universe. We become like what we worship. Tozer went on to write, we tend by a secret law of the soul to move toward our mental image of God. Were we able to extract from any man a complete answer to the question, what comes to mind when you think about God? We might predict with certainty the spiritual future of that man. Put another way, what you think about God will shape your destiny in life. If you think of God as homophobic, racist, and mad at the world, this distorted vision of reality will shape you into a religious bigot who is, wait for it, homophobic, racist, and mad at the world. If you think of God as a left coast, educated, LGBTQ-affirming progressive, that will shape you into the stereotype of the wealthy bohemian with the "We will not tolerate intolerance" bumper sticker on the back of your hybrid. Don't take that as a slam. I'm writing about half of my neighbors and friends. If you think of God as the cosmic version of a life coach, there to maximize your life, that will shape you into a self-helpy yuppie, even if you dress it up and call it following Jesus. You see what I'm getting at? The ISIS terrorist beheading the infidel, the prosperity gospel celebrity preacher getting out of his Hummer after late-night drinks with Kanye West, the Westboro Baptist picketer outside a military funeral screaming, "God hates," expletive, the Hindu sacrificing a goat to Shiva, the African witch doctor sacrificing a little boy, the U.S. Army sniper praying to God before he takes the shot, the peace activist risking her neck to stop another war because she believes in Jesus' teachings on enemy love, the gay singer who stands up at the Grammys and says thank you to God for his song about a one-night stand, the Catholic nun giving up a normal life to live in poverty and work for social change. All of these men and women do what they do because of what they believe about God. So clearly, what we think about God matters. Who God is has profound implications for who we are. Here's the problem. We usually end up with a God who looks an awful lot like us. As the saying goes, God created man in his own image, and man, being a gentleman, returned the favor. There is a human bent in all of us to make God in our own image. My friend Scott McKnight is a New Testament professor in Chicago. For years, he taught a class on Jesus, and he would start every semester with 2 surveys. The first was a set of questions about the student, what they like, dislike, believe, and so on. The second was the same set of questions, but this time about Jesus. He told me that 90% of the time, the answers were exactly the same. That's telling, isn't it? Here's how you know if you've created God in your own image. He agrees with you on everything. He hates all the people you hate. He voted for the person you voted for. If you're a Republican, so is he. If you're a Democrat, she is too. If you're passionate about blank, then God is passionate about blank. If you're open and elastic about sexuality, so is he. And above all, he's tame. You never get mad at him or blown away by him or scared of him because he's controllable. And of course, he's a figment of your imagination. Often what we believe about God says more about us than it does about God. Our theology is like a mirror to the soul. It shows us what's deep inside. Maybe the truth is that we want a God who is controllable because we want to be God. We want to be the authority on who God is or isn't and what